Hi, welcome to 142 Gallery in Hamilton Road, Felixstowe. Today, it's Saturday, and I'm here with a lady called Lora Pattinson, who's really quite an unusual artist, I think. She's actually not got anything much that you might want to buy, although you might want to buy some things, but she is kind of experimenting to try and get people to react to the art she does, I guess you'd say, to get a conversation going and get you looking at things from a different viewpoint. I really find some of the pieces fascinating. Come in and have a look, have a chat with Laura. She is here until about 4 o'clock on Wednesday coming. So Laura, here you are again, back at 142 Gallery.
Yeah.
Now you are one of the people I quite like because you do striking stuff.
Thank you.
Your work is kind of, no, I won't say kind of, I'll say your work is very different.
Yep.
And I think you have to work quite hard to like it, but I like some of the pieces and some pieces I don't understand. We were talking about what actually makes you do what you do. Tell me a little bit.
So I always start off with an element of geographical reference point. So always it's a location or a place that I visited through walking or some kind of connection that I might have. Particularly at the moment, I have a bit of an obsession with the Suffolk coastline, the East Anglian coastline in particular. And this body of work has started from me reading a book called The Weird and the Eerie by Mark Fisher. And in that book he references M.R. James, who wrote a ghost story that is loosely based on Felixstowe. So I have watched the film productions, there's 2 of them, and I've also read the story, and I'm now exploring the connections between these 2 things. And as I was kind of doing that, I then became really fascinated with these Martello towers that appear along the coastline from all the way from Essex all the way up to kind of very top of Suffolk in particular, so that's the kind of stretch that I'm playing with here. And these Martello towers in themselves I think have quite a ghostly presence. Structurally not so much, they're very solid, the walls are 7 foot thick, but in the sense that they are redundant, they serve no purpose anymore. They initially didn't really serve much of a purpose other than preemptive defence mechanism against potential invasion from Napoleon. So I think for me these towers, these Martello towers, I've been playing around with the abstract forms of them and taking and removing parts away from them to kind of play around with this idea of this ghost, this eeriness that is present very much on the Suffolk coastline.
So you've always thought about this quite a lot, haven't you?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of structure behind you. Yeah,
so this is a taken from the original drawings of the Martello towers from the original Italian architect from the 15th century who designed one in Corsica. So this is a cross-section taken from some of the original drawings of that.
Right.
But again, removing and taking parts from that and taking bits away, so really trying to play with that level of abstraction at the same time. I don't want to give the viewer too much information.
So, right, because I thought it was a kind of end-on view. I hadn't got it was a cross-section.
Yeah, so there's a segment kind of taken out from the perspective. This central kind of long black line in the middle is the midpoint of the section.
Right. I think that's fascinating. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
But you can't come and paint it on my wall, I'm afraid.
No.
Because you've done this direct onto the wall here.
I have, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So the gallery space is great. They let you experiment and they give you the space to pretty much do what you want with it, as long as you return it back to the way that you found it. So it will be painted over before the end of the time here.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Really, let me put this to you as bluntly as possible. I don't think you're so much here to sell stuff. You're more here to kind of make people open their eyes a bit?
Yes, very much so. I'm interested in having conversations with people about the work. I'm interested in, maybe people who aren't typically interested in the kind of work that I might make, to be engaged with it. So questions and people maybe not getting it the first time is absolutely fine with me. I enjoy that. I enjoy the conversations. I think my work through walking and meeting people, that's a really important feature in the work anyway.
So tell me, kind of link this back to your life then as a working artist. I mean, where do you make your income? Do you do another job and stuff?
I'm a teacher. I'm a full-time teacher.
What, of art?
I teach design technology, actually. I found, well, there's two things. There's lots of art teachers and there's not a lot of design technology teachers, so I thought strategically about that. But also I like the materials that we use in design technology. I like wood, I like working with metal, I like working with plastics and so on, whereas the art, it's much more soft materials. They use a lot of paint and kind of clay and sculptural in the stuff that you get at school. So I felt my work leaned more towards design technology anyway.
So you're a bit more challenging, aren't you, really?
I think so, hopefully.